Chicken is one of the most common foods on the plates of seniors in America. It's lean, packed with protein, and often recommended by doctors as a healthier alternative to red meat. But here's the shocking truth. Most people over 60 don't realize the way you cook, store, or even combine chicken with other foods can turn this healthy staple into a silent killer. Every year, thousands of older adults end up in the hospital with foodborne illnesses, heart problems, or bone fractures linked to mistakes made with chicken. And the worst part? These aren't rare accidents. They're daily habits, tiny errors repeated in kitchens across the country. If you're over 60, your body processes food differently than it did decades ago. Your immune system is weaker, digestion is slower, and your risk of infection or nutrient loss skyrockets. That means a single careless move with chicken could trigger weeks of sickness or even a fatal outcome. In this video, we'll uncover the 6 most dangerous chicken mistakes seniors make, explain the science behind them, share real-life stories from people who suffered because of them, and give you practical, senior-friendly tips to keep your meals both delicious and safe. Stay with me until the end, because mistake number 1 is so common that almost every senior makes it without realizing it could shorten their life. Mistake number 6. Eating undercooked or pink chicken. One of the biggest dangers for seniors when it comes to chicken is assuming it's safe just because it looks cooked. Many older adults grew up in households where people judged food by appearance. If the chicken looked white on the outside or the juices seemed clear, it was considered fine to eat. But that old-fashioned method is not only outdated, it can be fatal for people over 60. The truth is, undercooked chicken is one of the most common sources of serious foodborne illness in America. It often carries harmful bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. These bacteria are responsible for nearly 1.5 million cases of illness every year in the U.S. alone. For a younger person, the result might be 2 or 3 days of stomach cramps and diarrhea. But for seniors, the consequences are far more severe, because the immune system weakens with age and recovery times slow down. What starts as a little food poisoning can quickly spiral into hospitalization, dehydration, or even sepsis, a life-threatening blood infection. This is not just theory. It happens every single day. In fact, studies show that adults over 65 are 5 times more likely to be hospitalized from foodborne illness compared to younger people. And chicken is at the very top of the list of foods linked to these hospitalizations. The scary part: you can't always tell by looking. Chicken can appear perfectly golden on the outside, but remain dangerously raw near the bone. That means your eyes can't protect you, and your body pays the price. A 72-year-old man in Texas once ate juicy grilled chicken at a family barbecue. The outside looked perfect, but inside, it was still raw. Within hours, he was vomiting and soon ended up in the ICU with a bloodstream infection. He survived, but it took him 3 weeks in recovery and left him 20 pounds lighter. Another case in Florida involved an elderly woman who trusted her slow cooker. She thought low and slow meant safe, but her chicken never reached the critical 165 degrees Fahrenheit inside. After eating, she developed such severe diarrhea that she spent 4 days in the hospital. The reality is simple. You cannot trust your eyes, your nose, or old kitchen habits. The only way to guarantee chicken is safe is to use a thermometer. Better tip: always cook chicken to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius. Checking the thickest parts, away from the bone, and never rely on color alone. A $10 digital thermometer can save you weeks in a hospital bed. And if you're eating out, don't hesitate to send back undercooked chicken. Your health is worth more than a moment of embarrassment. Mistake number 5. Storing cooked chicken too long in the fridge. One of the most overlooked but extremely dangerous habits among seniors is keeping cooked chicken in the refrigerator for far too long, believing it is still safe simply because it looks fine or smells normal. Unfortunately, harmful bacteria don't always make themselves known through a foul odor, slimy texture, or odd color. For people over 60, the danger is much greater because the immune system is weaker and digestion is slower, which means the body cannot fight off even small amounts of contamination the way it once did. The USDA clearly warns that cooked chicken should not be kept in the fridge for more than 3 to 4 days. But countless seniors admit to stretching that to a week, or even longer, with the reasoning that I'll just heat it up and it will be fine. The truth is that reheating does not magically make spoiled food safe, because some bacteria produce toxins that survive the cooking process. One of the most dangerous culprits here is Listeria. Unlike Salmonella, which often causes symptoms, within hours, Listeria can quietly multiply in the fridge at normal cold temperatures, and it can take weeks before symptoms appear. This delay often confuses people, making it hard to connect their illness back to that piece of chicken they ate days earlier. For seniors, Listeria isn't just a stomach bug. It can cause blood poisoning, meningitis, and other life-threatening complications. Statistics show that adults over 65 are at least 10 times more likely to die from a Listeria infection compared to younger adults, which makes this mistake one of the deadliest. There was a case in Michigan where a 74-year-old woman liked to batch-cook chicken on Sundays. She believed it made her week easier, so she would portion it out and keep it in the fridge, sometimes for up to 10 days. Her daughter found her disoriented and feverish one afternoon and assumed it was the beginning of a stroke. At the hospital, tests revealed she had listeriosis caused by spoiled chicken she had eaten earlier in the week. She survived, but the infection left her weak, frail, and unable to live independently again. Her story is not unusual. Hospitals across the U.S. report similar incidents every year involving seniors who trusted leftovers for just a few more days. Another myth many older adults believe is that freezing food makes it safe forever. The truth is that freezing only pauses bacterial growth. It does not destroy bacteria or their toxins. So, if chicken was stored too long in the fridge before freezing, it will still be unsafe once thawed. And if frozen chicken is not thawed properly in the fridge rather than on the counter, bacteria can multiply quickly as it warms up. Better tip: treat cooked chicken as safe for no more than 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator, stored in airtight containers at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. If you will not eat it during that period, freeze it immediately after cooking, not days later. When you reheat, make sure the internal temperature reaches at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. To make things simple, use a marker or sticky label to date your containers before putting them in the fridge. This single small habit could save you from days in the hospital and keep your meals nourishing instead of harmful. Mistake number 4. Washing raw chicken before cooking. This mistake might sound harmless, and many seniors even think it is the clean thing to do. But washing raw chicken under the sink is one of the most dangerous kitchen habits that can literally spread illness across the entire household. For decades, people were taught by their parents or grandparents to rinse raw chicken to remove dirt, slime, or germs. The truth is, rinsing chicken with water does not kill bacteria. It actually spreads it. When you wash raw chicken under running water, tiny droplets splash all over the sink, onto countertops, nearby dishes, utensils, or even other foods like fruits and vegetables that may be sitting close by. Studies from the USDA and Drexel University show that bacteria such as Salmonella and Campylobacter can travel more than 3 feet from the sink during this simple act of rinsing. For a senior with a weakened immune system, that invisible spray can be far more dangerous than anyone realizes, because even the smallest trace of bacteria can lead to severe foodborne illness. Campylobacter alone causes an estimated 1.3 million Illnesses in the U.S. each year, and seniors are far more likely to be hospitalized after infection. A CDC investigation once traced a family outbreak to a grandmother who rinsed chicken before making soup. She believed she was keeping her meal clean, but instead, bacteria splashed onto the cutting board where she later chopped vegetables for the salad. Everyone who ate got sick, but her 68-year-old husband ended up in the hospital for nearly 2 weeks due to dehydration and a dangerous infection. What makes this mistake even trickier is that many seniors grew up in a time when food safety messages were less strict, so habits passed down through generations feel natural and comforting, but they're quietly harmful today. The reality is that cooking chicken to the proper temperature destroys bacteria completely, while rinsing does nothing except spread contamination. The Food Safety and Inspection Service has been warning for years. Never wash raw poultry, no exceptions. Yet surveys show that nearly 70% of seniors still admit to doing it out of habit. Better tip: skip the sink entirely. Take raw chicken straight from the package to the pan, oven, or grill. If you feel the need to clean it, simply pat it dry with a paper towel and throw the towel away immediately. After handling raw chicken, wash your hands with warm, soapy water for at least 20 seconds. And disinfect any surfaces the packaging touched. Remember, it's not about what your parents taught decades ago. It's about protecting your health. Today, cooking chicken to 165 degrees Fahrenheit will kill every harmful bacteria inside. And avoiding washing will keep your kitchen safe from invisible contamination that can land seniors in the hospital. Mistake number 3: leaving raw chicken out at room temperature. One of the most dangerous but common mistakes seniors make with chicken is leaving it out on the kitchen counter for too long. Whether it's thawing frozen chicken, marinating it before cooking, or simply forgetting to put it back in the fridge after shopping. Many older adults grew up in an era when food safety rules were not emphasized, and leaving meat out for hours didn't seem like a big deal. But science has proven that this habit can be deadly. Raw chicken is an ideal breeding ground for bacteria, like Salmonella, Campylobacter, and even Staphylococcus aureus. And these pathogens multiply at an astonishing rate between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which food safety experts call the danger zone. In just 2 hours at room temperature, bacteria can double in number every 20 minutes, turning a once safe piece of chicken into a toxic hazard. For seniors whose bodies cannot fight infections as effectively, this can quickly lead to hospitalization, or worse. According to CDC reports, nearly half of all Salmonella outbreaks linked to poultry involve chicken that was mishandled at home, and seniors are the most frequent victims of severe outcomes. A case in Arizona showed just how dangerous this can be. A 70-year-old retired teacher took chicken out of the freezer to thaw on her counter in the morning and planned to cook it in the evening. By dinner time, the chicken had been sitting in the danger zone for nearly 10 hours. She and her husband both ate it, but she became violently ill within 12 hours and was rushed to the hospital with acute gastroenteritis and dehydration. Her weakened body couldn't recover easily, and she spent 9 days in the hospital. Her husband, who was slightly younger and healthier, only had mild stomach cramps, a painful reminder that seniors suffer the worst consequences from the same exposure. Another hidden risk is marinating chicken at room temperature. Many seniors prepare chicken in the morning, leave it in a bowl on the counter to soak in sauce, and cook it hours later. What they don't realize is that while the flavors are seeping in, so are millions of bacteria multiplying in the warm kitchen air. The marinade itself becomes contaminated, and if it's later used as a sauce without being boiled, it spreads infection even further. Leaving chicken out after shopping is equally dangerous. Seniors may stop to rest after bringing groceries home, forgetting that raw meat in the bags is already warming up. Every minute outside the fridge increases bacterial growth, And when combined with slower digestion and weaker immunity, the risk becomes enormous. Better tip: never thaw chicken on the counter. Never marinate it at room temperature, and never leave it sitting out after cooking or shopping. Instead, always thaw chicken in the refrigerator, allowing 24 hours for every 4 to 5 pounds, or if you need it quickly. Use the microwave or cold water method, where the chicken is sealed in a leak-proof bag and submerged in cold water that's changed every 30 minutes. Marinate chicken only in the fridge, never on the counter. And after grocery shopping, put chicken into the refrigerator or freezer within 30 minutes of arriving home. By following these simple rules, you can eliminate one of the most silent but deadly mistakes in the kitchen and keep your meals both delicious and safe. Mistake number 2: cross-contamination with other foods. Perhaps the most underestimated but incredibly dangerous mistake seniors make when handling chicken is allowing cross-contamination in the kitchen. This happens when raw chicken or its juices come into contact with foods that are eaten raw, like vegetables, salads, fruits, or even bread sitting on the counter. Many seniors think, "I wiped the counter, so it's fine," or "the knife looks clean enough," but invisible bacteria do not need much to spread. Raw chicken is one of the leading carriers of Salmonella and Campylobacter. And once those bacteria land on lettuce, cucumbers, or even the handle of a refrigerator door, they can survive for hours or even days. For seniors, eating a contaminated salad or fruit afterward can result in far more than an upset stomach. It can lead to severe intestinal infections, dehydration, and hospital stays that may last weeks. Studies by the USDA have shown that when people prepare chicken and salad in the same kitchen, nearly 30% of the salads end up contaminated, even if people thought they had cleaned properly. The scary part is how easily it happens. A small splash of chicken juice on a cutting board, a knife used on raw meat and then on tomatoes, or hands that quickly touch the salt shaker before being washed. A 76-year-old woman in California once made chicken soup and used the same wooden cutting board for chopping the chicken and then for slicing cucumbers for a side salad. She thought the boiling soup would take care of any risk, but the salad stayed raw, and within 2 days she was in the emergency room with severe diarrhea and fever. Doctors diagnosed salmonella infection, and her age meant her recovery took almost a month. Another case in Ohio involved a grandfather who loved making sandwiches with leftover chicken. After carving raw chicken for roasting, he sliced bread on the same surface without sanitizing it. Hours later, when he ate the sandwich, he unknowingly consumed bacteria that had seeped into the bread. He ended up with Campylobacterius that caused long-lasting intestinal problems and left him weaker than before. These are not isolated incidents, they are daily realities. Kitchen counters, sponges, and cloth towels are especially dangerous because they can hold bacteria and spread them every time they are reused. Simply wiping a surface with a wet cloth is not enough. In fact, damp sponges and towels are breeding grounds themselves. Better tip: always treat raw chicken like toxic waste in your kitchen. Use a separate cutting board exclusively for raw poultry and wash it with hot soapy water. Or, even better, run it through the dishwasher after each use. Wash your hands with soap for at least 20 seconds after touching raw chicken, its packaging, or any surface it touched. Never reuse marinades unless they've been boiled, and never place cooked chicken back on the same plate that held it raw. Keep raw chicken bags separate from produce in your shopping cart and refrigerator. By creating strict boundaries between chicken and other foods, you can prevent the silent spread of bacteria and protect your meals from becoming a hidden threat. Mistake number 1: eating fried or processed chicken regularly. The single most dangerous chicken mistake seniors make is not about storage or preparation. It's about eating fried or heavily processed chicken as a regular part of their diet. Many older adults see fried chicken as comfort food, a nostalgic meal that brings back memories of family gatherings, church picnics, or Sunday dinners. But while the flavor may feel comforting, the health risks for people over 60 are enormous. Fried chicken is usually cooked in oils high in saturated fats and trans fats, which can raise LDL cholesterol, clog arteries, and dramatically increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Studies from the American Heart Association show that seniors who consume fried foods even once or twice a week have a significantly higher chance of developing cardiovascular disease. And the risks rise steeply with age. A large study published in the British Medical Journal found that women over 50 who ate fried chicken more than once a week had a 13% higher risk of death from all causes and a 12% higher risk of death from heart-related illness. The problem becomes worse when we consider that fried chicken is often loaded with sodium from marinades, coatings, or seasoning mixes. Excess sodium contributes directly to high blood pressure, kidney strain, and fluid retention, which are already common struggles for seniors. Many popular fast food chains also use reused frying oils that produce harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which increase inflammation in the body, speed up cellular aging, and worsen conditions like arthritis, diabetes, and heart disease. Seniors with weaker metabolisms are especially vulnerable because their bodies can't clear these toxins as efficiently as they could when younger. Processed chicken, such as nuggets, patties, or deli slices, carries its own risks. These products are often made from mechanically separated meat mixed with preservatives, additives, and fillers, including phosphates that can damage kidney function. Seniors with diabetes or chronic kidney disease are at even greater risk, as excess phosphates worsen mineral imbalances and increase the likelihood of bone fractures. A heartbreaking case in Georgia involved a 69-year-old man who ate fried chicken several times a week after losing his wife, calling it his comfort food. Over time, he developed severe hypertension and eventually suffered a massive stroke. His doctors explained that while genetics played a role, his diet high in fried chicken and processed meats had fueled years of silent arterial damage. Another woman in North Carolina, age 73, relied on frozen chicken tenders for convenience because she no longer enjoyed cooking. Within a few years, her cholesterol soared, her arthritis worsened, and she required heart surgery after blocked arteries were discovered. These aren't isolated tragedies, they are warnings. The comforting taste of fried or processed chicken hides a slow, steady assault on senior health. Better tip: treat fried chicken and processed chicken products as an occasional indulgence, not a regular meal. If you love the taste, try baking chicken with heart-healthy oils, like olive oil, or air frying with minimal breading to achieve crispiness without the dangerous fats. Choose skinless chicken breasts or thighs and season them with herbs and spices instead of salt-heavy coatings. Limit fast food chicken and frozen nuggets, and instead cook fresh chicken at home where you control the ingredients. By making these small adjustments, seniors can still enjoy chicken without sacrificing heart health, kidney function, or longevity. Comfort food should bring peace, not pain, and with smarter choices, it truly can. We've now gone through the 6 most dangerous chicken mistakes seniors make: eating undercooked chicken, keeping leftovers too long in the fridge, leaving raw meat out at room temperature, washing chicken under the sink, allowing cross-contamination, and relying on fried or processed chicken as comfort food. Each of these mistakes may look harmless at first, but for seniors, they can be the difference between a safe meal and a trip to the hospital. The truth is, chicken itself can be one of the healthiest proteins for people over 60, packed with lean nutrients that support muscles, bones, and energy. But the way it's handled and prepared turns it either into medicine for the body or into poison that slowly steals health away. What's most alarming is that these mistakes are not rare. They are daily habits happening in kitchens across America, repeated out of tradition, convenience, or simple lack of awareness. And while younger people might bounce back from food poisoning or clogged arteries, seniors often don't get that second chance. That's why recognizing these dangers is not about fear. It's about taking back control over your own health and independence. Because every safe meal is another day of strength, another day of energy, another day of living the life you want. So now I want to ask you, which of these mistakes have you seen in your own kitchen, or maybe in your family? Share your story. In the comments, your voice could save another senior's life. And don't forget to subscribe for more senior health tips, because sometimes the smallest changes are the ones that protect you the most.